The adventure began in the sprawling modern metropolis of Kuala Lumpur. Skyscrapers pierced the clouds, a testament to a world driven by concrete and commerce. But my destination was a world away from this urban jungle. A flight took me across the South China Sea to Borneo, an island that has always held a kind of mythical status for explorers. It's a place of ancient rainforests, incredible biodiversity, and cultures that have lived in harmony with the natural world for millennia. Landing in Sarawak, the Malaysian state on Borneo, the air immediately felt different, thicker, humid, and alive with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. It was the smell of a world that was still wild, a world I was about to enter. My journey continued from the coastal city of Miri, heading deep into the interior. The paved roads soon gave way to rugged logging tracks, carved violently into the landscape. These muddy scars were the first sign that the Borneo of legend was under threat. Bouncing along in a sturdy four-wheel drive, the hours blurred into a green and brown mosaic of endless trees and churned up earth. The further we went, the more the signs of modern life faded away, replaced by the overwhelming presence of the rainforest. The sounds of traffic were replaced by the symphony of unseen insects and the distant calls of birds, a constant, vibrant hum that felt both welcoming and, honestly, a bit intimidating. The final leg of the journey was by longboat, navigating the winding tea-colored rivers that serve as the highways of the rainforest. Our skilled boatman expertly maneuvered around submerged logs and through gentle rapids, his knowledge of the river's moods clear in every movement. Gliding along the water, I felt a profound sense of leaving my own world behind. The forest canopy formed a dense ceiling above, with shafts of sunlight occasionally breaking through to dapple the water's surface. This was not just a trip to a remote location, it was a passage back in time, heading towards a community that still held the ancient keys to surviving in this immense and powerful environment. Finally, after days of travel, we arrived at the small settlement that would be my entry point into the world of the Penan. The welcome was quiet and gentle, a stark contrast to the boisterous greetings I've received in other parts of the world. The Penan people I met were shy but curious, their eyes holding a deep wisdom and a connection to the surrounding forest that I could only begin to imagine. They are known as the last of Borneo's true nomads, and I was here to learn from them, to understand their life, their skills, and the immense challenges they face. This was the beginning of my time living alongside them, an experience that would change my perspective on the world forever. The rainforest of Borneo is one of the oldest and most biodiverse on the planet. Walking into it is like stepping into a living cathedral. The sheer scale of the trees is humbling. Giants stretch towards the sky, their massive trunks covered in mosses and ferns. The air is thick with moisture, and the ground is a complex tapestry of roots, fallen leaves, and fungi. Every single inch of this environment teems with life, from the tiniest insects crawling on the forest floor to the monkeys and hornbills chattering in the high canopy. For the Penan, this forest is not just a place, it is their entire universe. It provides them with everything they need: food, water, shelter, medicine, and spiritual connection. However, this paradise is deeply wounded. The roar of chainsaws has become a more common sound than the call of many native birds. As I traveled deeper, the evidence of deforestation was impossible to ignore. Vast swathes of primary rainforest have been cleared, replaced by sterile and silent palm oil plantations that stretch to the horizon. The logging roads I had traveled on were arteries of destruction, allowing heavy machinery to penetrate deeper and deeper into the forest's heart. Seeing the scale of this devastation firsthand is heartbreaking. It's not just about losing trees, it's about the annihilation of an entire ecosystem, a complex web of life that has taken millions of years to evolve. This destruction has had a catastrophic impact on the Penan. Their traditional nomadic territories have been fragmented and destroyed, making their hunter-gatherer lifestyle almost impossible to sustain. The animals they hunt, like the bearded pig and the sambar deer, have become scarce as their habitats disappear. The rivers, once pristine sources of fish and clean drinking water, are now often polluted with sediment and chemicals from the logging and plantation operations. The Penan described to me how the fish have died and the water often makes their children sick. Their entire world is being dismantled before their eyes, and they are left to navigate the wreckage. The emotional toll of this loss is profound. The Penan have a concept called molong, which means to preserve and never take more than you need. This sustainable philosophy is the very essence of their culture, and it stands in stark contrast to the greed-driven exploitation that is destroying their home. They see the forest as a sacred provider, and its destruction is a deep spiritual wound. An elder told me, with sadness in his eyes, that when the forest dies, a part of the Penan people dies with it. They are fighting not just for their land, but for their very identity and soul, which are inextricably linked to the trees. The Penan are masters of survival, and their most iconic tool is the blowpipe, or kelaput. This is not a simple toy. It is a precision weapon, crafted with incredible skill and patience over many weeks. The blowpipe is made from a special hardwood, carefully bored out to create a perfectly straight and smooth barrel. It can be up to 2 meters long, and its effectiveness depends entirely on the craftsmanship of its maker. I watched a man named Along spend hours meticulously straightening the wood over a small fire, his focus absolute. For the Penan, the blowpipe is an extension of their body, a silent and deadly tool that allows them to hunt without disturbing the sensitive ecosystem of the forest. The true genius of the blowpipe lies in the poison used on the darts. The darts, or laja, are thin slivers of bamboo sharpened to a needle point and fletched with a light cone of pith to create a seal inside the pipe. The poison, known as tajem, is a closely guarded secret, a potent concoction made from the sap of a particular tree, Antiaris toxicaria. The process of collecting and preparing the poison is shrouded in ritual and respect. The Penan must make a small cut in the bark and collect the milky white sap, being careful not to harm the tree unnecessarily. This sap is then carefully cooked and mixed with other secret plant ingredients to enhance its potency. I was privileged to witness part of this sacred process. The men handled the sap with extreme caution, as it is toxic even to the touch. The mixture was simmered over a low flame for hours until it became a dark, thick paste. Once ready, the tips of the darts were carefully coated in the lethal substance. This poison doesn't kill the animal instantly, but works as a fast-acting neurotoxin, paralyzing the muscles. This means a monkey or a bird, once hit, will quickly fall from the high canopy, allowing the hunter to retrieve it. The poison is only dangerous if it enters the bloodstream, so the meat of the animal remains perfectly safe to eat after the area around the dart wound is cut away. Hunting with a blowpipe is an art form that requires immense skill, patience, and a deep understanding of the forest. The hunter moves with a silence and grace that is almost supernatural, his senses attuned to the slightest sound or movement. I tried to follow a hunter on a quest for food, and I felt clumsy and loud, my every step seeming to crash through the undergrowth. He, on the other hand, was like a ghost. He could spot a bird hidden high in the leaves that was completely invisible to me. With a deep breath and a powerful puff of air, the dart would fly, silent and true. It was a powerful reminder of the incredible knowledge and connection the Penan have with their environment. For countless generations, the Penan lived a truly nomadic life, moving through the forest in small family groups. They built temporary shelters, called zulap, from branches and leaves, staying in one area only as long as the food sources, like the sago palm, were abundant. This constant movement was the rhythm of their existence, a dance in harmony with the cycles of the forest. They carried few possessions, and their concept of ownership was communal. The forest was everyone's home, and its resources were to be shared. This nomadic lifestyle fostered a deep sense of freedom, independence, and an unparalleled knowledge of vast tracts of jungle. However, the relentless march of deforestation has shattered this ancient way of life. With their hunting grounds destroyed and their paths blocked by logging concessions and plantations, many Penan have been forced to abandon their nomadic traditions. Government policies have also encouraged them to settle in permanent villages, often on the fringes of their ancestral lands. This transition has been incredibly difficult and has created a deep cultural rift. Moving into permanent wooden houses means they are tethered to one place, unable to follow the seasonal bounty of the forest as they once did. This forced sedentarism is a profound shock to a culture built on movement. Life in the settled villages is a world of compromise and loss. While some aspects of modern life, like access to basic healthcare and schooling, have been introduced, they have come at a great cost. The Penan now find themselves caught between two worlds. They lack the skills and opportunities to thrive in the cash-based economy that surrounds them, yet they are increasingly cut off from the forest that sustained them for centuries. Many villages are plagued by poverty, and the people struggle to find new ways to feed their families. The vibrant, self-sufficient culture of the forest is being replaced by a sense of dependency and uncertainty. I spent time with families in both nomadic camps and settled villages, and the contrast was stark. In the forest, there was a quiet confidence, a sense of purpose in every daily task. In the villages, I often sensed a feeling of melancholy and disorientation. The elders, in particular, mourned the loss of their freedom and their connection to the land. One old man told me he felt like a bird in a cage. He could see the forest, his true home, but he could no longer fly free within it. Their stories are a poignant testament to the human cost of environmental destruction. A story of a people forced to adapt to a world that no longer has a place for their ancient traditions. For the Penan, the rainforest is not just a collection of trees, it is a living larder and a fully stocked pharmacy. Their traditional knowledge of ethnobotany, the practical use of plants, is encyclopedic and absolutely essential for their survival. Over generations, they have identified and memorized the properties of hundreds, if not thousands, of different plants. They know which leaves can be eaten, which fruits are sweet, which roots provide starchy calories, and crucially, which ones hold medicinal properties. This knowledge is not written in books, but is passed down orally from elders to children, a living library of information that is now at risk of being lost. During my time with them, I was constantly amazed by their ability to find food and medicine in places where I saw nothing but green foliage. A guide would suddenly stop, dig into the earth, and pull up a nutritious tuber. He would point to a vine and explain that its water was clean and safe to drink, a vital source of hydration when on the move. The sago palm is a cornerstone of their diet, a single tree providing a huge amount of starchy flour that can sustain a family for weeks. The process of extracting the sago is laborious, but is a communal activity filled with skill and tradition, ensuring everyone has enough to eat. The forest is also their first and most important source of healthcare. The Penan have a remedy for almost any common ailment, all sourced directly from the surrounding jungle. They know which leaves to crush into a poultice to treat a wound or skin infection, which bark to boil into a tea to cure a fever, and which roots can be used to soothe a stomach ache. I saw a man use the sap from a specific plant to instantly stop the bleeding from a deep cut. This knowledge is precise and effective, a form of natural medicine perfected over centuries of trial and error. It allows them to live healthily in a remote environment far from any modern clinics or hospitals. The tragedy is that as the forest is destroyed, this incredible pharmacy is being destroyed with it. With every hectare of rainforest that falls, countless medicinal plants are lost forever, some of which may hold cures for diseases that affect the wider world. More tragically, as the younger Penan generations become more disconnected from the forest and more exposed to modern life, this vital traditional knowledge is beginning to fade. The elders worry that their children and grandchildren will not know how to heal themselves or find food in the forest. Saving the rainforest is not just about protecting biodiversity, it is about preserving this priceless library of human knowledge. The Penan culture is rich with artistry and a deep sense of community, expressed beautifully through their crafts and beliefs. They are master weavers, using thin strips of rattan harvested from the forest to create intricate and durable items. They make everything from sleeping mats and baskets for carrying goods to the detailed ajat backpacks worn by the men. The patterns woven into these items are not merely decorative. They often tell stories representing animals, plants, or spirits of the forest. Watching a Penan woman weave is, honestly, just mesmerizing. Her fingers move with a speed and precision born of lifelong practice, transforming simple strands of rattan into objects of both beauty and utility. Their spiritual beliefs are deeply animistic, intertwined with the natural world. The Penan believe that the forest is alive with spirits, in the trees, the rivers, and the animals. A respectful relationship with these spirits is essential for a healthy and prosperous life. Before a hunt or a major undertaking, they will often seek to communicate with the spirits to ask for success and protection. This belief system fosters a profound respect for the environment, reinforcing their philosophy of molong, or taking only what is needed. The forest is not a resource to be exploited, but a sacred entity to be lived with in balance and harmony. This worldview is the antithesis of the destructive consumerism that threatens their existence. As their world changes, the Penan are showing incredible resilience and finding new ways to adapt while holding on to their identity. Some now work as guides in national parks like Gunung Mulu, where their unparalleled knowledge of the jungle is a valuable asset. This provides a source of income while allowing them to remain connected to their ancestral lands and share their culture with outsiders. Other families live a semi-nomadic life, maintaining a base in a village for their children's education while spending long periods in camps deep in the forest, continuing to hunt and gather. This hybrid lifestyle is a compromise, an attempt to embrace the benefits of the modern world without completely surrendering their heritage. My journey with the Penan was a powerful and humbling experience. It was a stark lesson in the devastating consequences of our planet's relentless demand for resources, but it was also a story of hope and resilience. The Penan are not passive victims. They are fighting for their rights, for their forest, and for their future. Supporting them means supporting the protection of the rainforests, which are the lungs of our planet. Their struggle is our struggle. Preserving their way of life and their incredible knowledge is not just about saving a single tribe. It is about learning a more sustainable and respectful way to live on this earth, a lesson we desperately need to learn before it's too late.